coffee will kill you. Or make you into a superhuman that will get smarter and avoid disease and all kinds of cool stuff. You know, it's so weird. Coffee is one of the most used drugs on this planet, and there's so much conflicting information out there. Anything from it being awesome to horrible. So I understand that people are confused. And I'm a bit of a health nerd, so sometimes my friends reach out to me and asks, is it good or bad? I got this message from my friend David the other day, who said, hey Emil, I recently started drinking coffee, I enjoy it, but I have no idea if it's good for me. There's so much misinformation. Could you tell me? I want to own this habit. So, given that, I'm excited to make a video today where I break down, is coffee good or evil? Good or evil? Which one is it? My answer is, it depends. It's like a gun. It depends. Was that a gun? It depends on how you're using it, right? When I was in my 20s, I played professional online poker, and I played for 12 to 15 hours per day, 7 days per week. I had kind of stumbled into professional poker, and I discovered that even as a teenager with no experience, I could make a lot of money from this game. And I kind of understood that poker had just got into the internet and it was a great opportunity. So I wanted to get the most out of it, play as much as I could. So I was drinking, and this might sound like unbelievable to you, but I was drinking 10, 12 cups of coffee every day to get energy, to be able to play this much. And that worked well for a couple of years until I started having some serious side effects. I started to be constantly exhausted. I started having anxiety, a lot of overthinking, feeling depressed. I was struggling to sleep. And there were several reasons for this, but I would say the biggest one is that I was using caffeine as a source of energy. And I think when that is the approach to drinking coffee, when you are tired and you're using coffee to get energy, that is when you are in the risk zone for entering what I call the negative coffee loop. And let's see if we can put an illustration here on the negative coffee loop. But it goes a little bit something like this. You drink coffee, too much coffee, which is getting you energized in the moment, but then it's making it hard for you to relax. So you start to be more stressed, you start to sleep worse, you start to be more anxious and overthinking, which is making it harder for you to sleep. When you sleep worse, you get more tired. And then you need more coffee. So you drink even more coffee, which releases, adrenaline and cortisol, all those chemicals that is making your body go into stress and fight or flight mode. And it just becomes worse and worse and worse. That is what happened to me. I was pretty deep down in the rabbit hole of the negative coffee loop. And you want to avoid that, right? There is a way to drink coffee where you get all the good from my point of view, but without the bad. Because the good is great. Drinking coffee can help you live longer. It can fight a lot of serious diseases like cancer and Parkinson and Alzheimer's. It can lower your risk for those diseases. It can help you lose weight, burn fat, be more energized, perform better at the gym, become mentally clearer. It can help you focus. It contains a lot of important nutrients, antioxidants. So coffee has a lot of great benefits. But to understand how to get the good without getting the bad, we need to understand how caffeine is affecting your body. So the main thing that caffeine is doing is that it's affecting a substance called adenosine. And adenosine is a substance that is making you tired. So imagine that you have these little balls of adenosine that's jumping around in your brain. Let's not shadow myself. Adenosine, right? And then in your brain, you have receptors for adenosine. And then when adenosine connects to the receptor in your brain, you will start feeling tired. Why would I want to feel tired? It's so that you can relax in the end of a long day, right? When you sleep, your brain removes all these adenosines, get rid of them. And then during the day, you get more and more little balls of adenosine. And then they start connecting with your brain's adenosine receptors. And when you have enough of them, you start to feel sleepy and you build up a sleep drive, a rest drive. Your nervous system starts to go into the relaxed part of the nervous system. You start unwinding, recovering. So what caffeine is doing, it's basically pretending to be adenosine. Caffeine goes in and it takes the place in the adenosine receptors. So now, when the adenosine balls try to come in here, they have nowhere to attach, right? So you don't get the sleepy effect. And that's awesome, right? That's why we all love coffee. It just increases the activity in our nervous system. We don't feel tired, we feel focused, energized, all that good stuff. I'm on coffee right now. It's great. But it is a problem if we're drinking too much coffee or coffee at the wrong times. Because then, in the end of the day, when we need to relax and recover so we're ready to perform again the next day, we have caffeine in all of those receptors and we can't relax. What's crucial to understand about caffeine is that it has a half-life of about 5 hours. Which means that if you drink 1 cup of coffee, 5 hours later, half of that coffee is still in your system. Right? So that's why my cutoff of coffee is at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is the latest time where I drink caffeine. Because if you drink a cup of coffee at 2, 5 hours later at 7, you're going to have half of the caffeine left. And 5 hours later at midnight, when you should be relaxing and asleep, 25% of that coffee is still going to be in your system. So drinking a cup of coffee at 2 p.m. means that you are going to sleep less. Your brain is going to be able to remove less of those adenosine balls that are around in your head. There are 3 things you need to do in order to get the good without getting the bad. The first one is don't drink coffee too late. Like 2 p.m. is the latest. And after that, if you want to still drink coffee, switch to decaf coffee. So what I'm doing is that in the morning, I'm drinking half of my cup is decaf and half is regular coffee. So I drink half a cup in the morning. And in the afternoon, I only drink decaf. So I drink 2 cups of coffee per day, but only half of them is actually with caffeine. So that means that I have no caffeine in my system when it's time to relax and go to bed in the evening. And this leads me to point number 2, if you want the good without the bad, which is to drink less. Like, I think a good amount of caffeine is somewhere between half a cup to 2 cups per day. When you start to go over that, you start to entering into the land of the negative caffeine loop that I described earlier. Drinking not too late, drinking less coffee, a half to 2 cups per day is going to have positive health benefits. And the third one is to make sure you don't mix your coffee with sugar. Because sugar, that's a video of its own, but it has a lot of health detriments. Instead, what I suggest that you do, and that I have been doing for 10 years now, and it's greatly helping my focus when I play poker or when I'm doing these videos, is to blend my coffee with healthy fats. I blend my coffee with butter, coconut oil, and MCT oil. MCT oil is an extract from coconut oil that you can buy in your health store. And those 3 combined is giving my brain high and stable energy throughout the day. So I'm actually skipping breakfast. So instead of having breakfast, I only drink a bulletproof coffee. A coffee blended with butter, coconut oil, and MCT oil. And that gives me high and stable energy to make me last until lunch. And the cool thing about that is that when you only drink fat, your body is going to enter a state called ketosis, which is another word for fat burning mode. your body's gonna start using fat for its fuel source instead of glucose, sugar. And ketosis, fat burning, is a more natural state for humans. Like, we were evolved to use fat for fuel because we couldn't eat that often when we were hunter-gatherers. And our brain is made of fat, our brain works well on fat, so the combination of good fats and coffee is just so good for my energy. I love it. Right, so to summarize, don't drink too late, don't drink too much, don't blend with sugar, and if you don't do that, enjoy coffee. It's gonna make you live longer, be smarter, happier. It can fight depression, make you immune, lower your risk to a lot of serious diseases. So many benefits, antioxidants, nutrients. Enjoy! Like when my friend David asked me, I feel shame for drinking this coffee. I was like, oh no, don't, because coffee I love it. It's the best part of my morning. So enjoy it without worrying about health benefits. It's actually going to be good for you. So enjoy your coffee. I want to know, in the comments, how do you drink your coffee and what health video would you like for me to make next? I want to know, and I'll see you in the next video.